Kennett, Zenith Cablevision. Thank you for watching. It's time for talk. Each evening at this time, Monday through Friday, Rose Mary interviews local personalities and others who bring items of interest to this community. Time for Talk is a community betterment service designed to cooperate with our local community betterment program. Tonight, Rose Mary takes us by means of portable camera out of our studios and maybe into your neighborhood. And now, it's time for talk.
Well, tonight, this is for the birds. It is really for the birds. First, we're going to talk about three kinds of birds, but I want you to look at these sweet little hummingbirds. Aren't they sweet? Aren't they precious? No, they spend most of their time being aggressive. Watch this. Watch this. A bird comes in and tries to go to the feeder, and one who's the kingpin chases him off. Did you see it again? There is one who is in control of this feeder, and he will not let anybody else come in and land. He watches all day. It's a wonder he doesn't starve to death trying to keep everybody else away. Okay, now, in order to get some real close-up, duct tape and taped it up there, and he comes out and puts it on the hummingbird feeder. Now, theoretically, this won't chase them away, have the camera this close, and so he has a wire now that I think he's going to poke through a hole in the screen. I don't advise the hole in the screen to have the wire through, but anyway, and we're going to have the picture inside so we can watch. We'll show you what we get.
2, 1.
Okay, now, as we sit here at the kitchen table, and this goes all day, and a bird may come in, and we're able to watch him feed, see the kind that comes in, and of course, most of the time they just fight with each other. Nobody can eat because they are having to chase somebody off. But so you see how we get close-ups, real close-ups, and how interesting it is to sit here and watch what's going on. Now, as we would sit at the kitchen table and watch these birds come in, it was remarkable. We pulled out all the books we could find so we could check some statistics. And for instance, we learned that the wing beat is 40 to 80 times a second. 40 to 80 a second. The heartbeat is 250 times a minute. So no wonder they're such active little creatures. Now, we also learned that there are more than 300 species of hummingbirds. But in this southeast Missouri area, if you see more than 10, you will be lucky. And in the fall of the year, there are migrating species that fly together, and you may see, as I said, 10 different kinds. You would be very lucky if you could see 10. The remarkable thing about having out a feeder is it's a great help to these birds. They must eat a daily ration of nectar greater than their own body weight. Now, they also fill this in with mosquitoes or aphids. You think that that beak is a hollow tube. Now, at least I thought that beak was a hollow tube, but that's not true. That beak can open and close. It can reach down in flowers that bees do not go down into. Listen, I have read that there are even mites that can live in that beak, and they race up and down as the bird puts its bill into the flower. The mites go in, drink the nectar, and then catch the next bird out. Now, look at this. You would not know that a hummingbird's tongue comes out and flicks back and forth like this. But watch this bird. See that tongue? See it flip back and forth? Isn't that incredible? And without sitting at the kitchen table with the camera up close and on slow speed, you could not catch this tongue flicking like this. It's amazing to me to see that. Now the female is the only one that helps with the nest. She lays 2 coffee bean size eggs, and she makes the nest of old plant material and lichen, and she binds them together with spider webs. And then she has to work like crazy to find enough nectar for herself and to feed those babes. Now most everything we see here at our feeder is a ruby-throated hummingbird. And actually the female has the iridescent green back and feathers, but she has no ruby throat. She has a few little white feathers at the end of her tail to sort of distinguish her, but the male is the beautiful one. Now we watch hummingbirds all summer, and we learn a lot, and we never cease to be amazed. Uh, and you can make your own hummingbird nectar. You just take 1 part sugar and 4 parts, 1/4 of a cup of sugar and a cup of water, and they are tickled to death. But now it's late September, and the activity is winding down. But let me tell you what happened. Do you remember late September we had rain? I mean, we had more than 2 inches of rain, and it rained in the feeder and diluted the nectar. We didn't realize it until we had a hummingbird just come and just sit. And he sat, and he sat, and he sat. And we said, what's going on? He'd just sort of stare up at the bottle for minutes on end, which was totally unlike any activity that had gone on all summer. So we took the feeder down to look, and sure enough, we could determine that it had rained in and diluted it, and he was really feeling cheated. When we talk about hummingbirds, if you would really like to plant something that attracts hummingbirds, that's easy to grow, there are a million seeds, you can call Velma Hobbs and get all of the seeds you want for what she calls a cypress vine. And this is several cypress vines, and I'm telling you, we used to have, we thought it would be nice to put an arch over our walkway to the garden, and I tell you, it got so heavy and so thick, we had to take a wire, and then we just had to abandon the arch. Now, this, as I said, is a lot of different plants, and Russ would come out every morning, and as they would grow in the spring, he would twine them over and keep them going, and you see how it's gone. It would actually cover the barn without any effort if you wanted it to do that. To me, it's a beautiful vine, and you see it looks like the leaf of a cypress tree. So I guess why they call it cypress vine. But look at the beautiful little blooms, and I tell you, a hummingbird cannot resist these blooms. So if you want to plant something to attract hummingbirds, it's nice to have a feeder out also, but just plant some of these cypress vines. Just call me. I'll have plenty of seed, but call Velma Hobbs. She supplied me. Now, as I said, we have a favorite pastime at our house. We love to sit in the backyard and watch birds. And watch this mother robin and the baby. The baby is maybe the first day out of the nest. I don't know. It's quite active for first day, maybe second day. But it's following the mother, and she is attempting to teach the baby how to dig in the grass, how to find something. But the baby isn't really interested in doing that. It's just following along and squeaking and saying, "Mama, feed me." You know, you can just almost hear the sound. And when the baby catches a glimpse of her digging in the grass or finding anything, oh, it rushes up, it moves its wings, it flaps its wings the whole time in expectation, and all the while it's running along saying, "Feed me, feed me, feed me." Now, you will watch as the mother really digs, and she is trying her best. Now watch those wings. See, that's the way they act in the nest when they're going to get something. So she's trying her best to show that baby, "Get your head in here and get to work. Just dig a little bit yourself." But no, the baby is, flapping its wings and saying, "Mama, here I am, find something to put in my mouth." And it takes about 3 or 4 days for the baby to get onto it. Now, I told you we had 3 things to show you. We want to show you barn swallows. Now, barn swallows come every year to our house. They build a nest out of mud and grass, and yes, it's kind of messy, but let me tell you, it's worth every minute to just watch the activity. You can put a mirror up on the pole and look in the nest, and you can see the little eggs that are in there, and then you can watch them as they hatch and begin to get feathers, and it's just great activity to do. And both parents help with this nest. It's not like the hummingbird. Both parents help feed. Both parents, I think, take turns on the nest. If we are correct, did you see that one bird remove the feces in a sort of a pill form? But watch those little ones stretch their neck up when they do hear the sound of the mama or the daddy coming in. But there is a remarkable thing here that we have never seen before that I want you to catch. The mother bird is going to come in with a sort of a wasp or a bee, and she pokes it in one of it's this one. She pokes it in that baby's mouth, and and the baby, it's too big, or else it's stinging. I don't know what it's doing, but now here's one turning around, and they at least have sense enough to potty outside the nest, but they usually carry a lot of this away. You may have to clean up under this nest every day, but that isn't going to hurt for the lesson you learn. Now watch this. She gives the baby a big wasp or a bug of some sort, and he can't swallow it, and he strains around and and the wasp is going to crawl out of the baby's throat. Now watch. Just watch. This is worth seeing. Well, not that. Okay, let's on to the feeding. All right. All right, and they're all straining to see. Okay, she's poked a bug down this bird's throat, and he can't get rid of it. And what's this? Can you see it? Can you see it crawl out of his mouth and crawl down the side of the nest? It's a pretty good sized bug. He said, "Boy, I'm glad to see that go." We enjoy birds at our house. Whatever kind you have, you are extremely lucky. Count yourself lucky if you can watch a nest full of birds being raised.
You have been watching Time for Talk. Time for Talk is a community betterment service designed to cooperate with our local community betterment program. Each evening, Monday through Friday at this time, Rose Mary interviews local personalities and others who bring items of interest to this community. If you are aware of items of interest, please let us know for possible airing on this program. Time for Talk is brought to you through the cooperation of Kennett Cablevision Incorporated and is produced through the facilities of the Slicer Street Church. The Holy Scriptures